You know what nobody tells you when you're young? It is that the most powerful financial tool in the world isn't a high-paying job. It's not a hot stock tip. It's not crypto, it's not real estate, it's not anything you need a degree or a broker or a trust fund to access. It's time. And most people waste it without even realizing they're doing it. Here's what I mean. Think about the last time you said to yourself, I'll start saving when I make more money. Or, I'll start investing once things calm down a bit. Or my personal favorite, I'm still young, I have time. Um, yeah, that's exactly the problem. Because here's a stat that I want you to sit with for a second. According to a study by the National Institute on Retirement Security, nearly 60% of working age Americans have no retirement savings at all. Zero. And the overwhelming reason isn't that they couldn't afford to save, it's that they kept waiting for the right moment to start. And while they were waiting, something was happening quietly in the background. Something that could have been working for them the entire time, but wasn't, because nobody ever explained it properly. That thing is compound interest, and the wild part, it's not complicated, it's not exclusive, it's available to every single person watching this right now. The only thing standing between you and it is understanding how it actually works, and starting before you think you're ready. By the end of this video, you'll get it. Let's start with a story. Two people, same age, same starting point. Their names are Marcus and Jordan. Marcus is 22. He gets his first real job, sees that 401k form, and actually opens it. He doesn't fully understand it. Nobody does at 22, but he starts putting away $200 a month. That's it, $200. He does this for just 10 years, from age 22 to 32, and then he stops completely. Life happens. He gets married, buys a house, and has kids. He doesn't put in another single dollar after 32, not one. Jordan is also 22, but Jordan does what most of us do. He waits. He tells himself he'll start when he makes more money, when he pays off his credit card, when things calm down a little. Jordan finally starts investing at 32, the exact year Marcus stops, and he puts in the same $200 a month. But Jordan keeps going. He invests every single month until he's 65. So just to be clear, Marcus invests for 10 years and stops. Jordan invests for 33 years straight without ever stopping. Who do you think ends up with more money at 65? If you said Jordan, you're wrong. Marcus ends up with more, significantly more. Marcus ends up with roughly $580,000. Jordan ends up with about $430,000. And Marcus put in a total of $24,000. Jordan put in over $79,000 out of pocket. That is not a typo. That is compound interest. And that should genuinely shake you. Now, when most people hear that, they get a little frustrated. And honestly, good. That frustration is useful. Because what that story is telling you, what it is screaming at you, is that time is the ingredient, not income, not some genius investing strategy, not picking the right stock. Time. The single most powerful variable in this entire equation is one that literally every one of us is spending right now, whether we're investing or not. So what is compounding, really? Compounding is when your money makes money, and then that money makes more money, and then that money makes even more money. On and on. Not just once, forever. Like a snowball rolling down a hill. Except the hill is your entire investing life, and the snowball starts tiny, like embarrassingly tiny. But somewhere in the middle, it picks up so much mass that it becomes almost unstoppable. Here's a way to think about it. Imagine you plant a single apple tree. Year 1, it grows a little. Year 2, a little more. For the first few years, honestly, it's not very impressive. You're out there watering it, maintaining it, and it doesn't look like much. But then around year 10, something shifts. The roots are deep, the trunk is thick, and now that tree isn't just growing, it's producing apples. And those apples have seeds, and you plant those, and now you have more trees, and more apples, and more seeds, until your one little apple tree became an entire orchard. That's compounding. The tree is your investment, the apples are your returns, and the seeds are those returns getting reinvested and going to work for you. The tragedy is that most people give up on the tree before it starts producing apples. Let me give you the actual math now because I think it makes this even more real. Let's say you're 25 years old and you invest just $100 a month. That's it, $100, less than most people's phone bills. You invested in a low-cost index fund that tracks the broader market. Historically, the S&P 500 has returned roughly 10% annually before inflation, closer to 7% after. We'll use 7 to keep it conservative and account for inflation. By the time you're 65, that $100 a month becomes somewhere around $262,000. Now wait, you actually only put in $48,000 of your own money over those 40 years. $262,000 from $48,000 in contributions. That extra $214,000, you didn't work for it, you didn't hustle for it, you just let time and math do what they do. Now here's the thing that I want you to sit with. According to a 2022 bank rate survey, more than half of Americans, 55%, say they have less than 3 months of savings, let alone any invested. And the number one reason people give? I don't make enough money to invest right now. That right there is the trap. That is the exact lie that compound interest is waiting for you to believe. Because the truth is, the amount matters far less than the start date. Getting in early with a small amount will almost always beat getting in late with a large amount. But instead, people wait. They wait for the raise. They wait until the debt is gone. They wait until things settle down. And every single month they wait, they're not just missing the contribution. They're missing the compounding on the contribution. They're missing the apples and the seeds. Okay, so now I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. And that's the flip side of compounding, the part that works against you when you're not paying attention. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Compound interest doesn't care what team you're on. It doesn't care if it's working for your investment account or for your credit card company. It just does its thing. The average credit card interest rate in the United States hit over 22% in 2023, according to the Federal Reserve. 22%. So if you're carrying a $5,000 balance on a credit card and only making minimum payments, that debt compounds against you. Every single month, the interest charges get added to your balance, and then you're paying interest on your interest. And you're stuck. And the bank is getting wealthier off of you while you're trying to figure out where your paycheck went. This is why the rule is simple. Boring, but simple. Before you invest, eliminate high-interest debt. Because paying off a 22% interest rate credit card is the same as getting a guaranteed 22% return on your money. No investment in the world reliably does that. Get rid of the bad compounding first, then set the good compounding loose. Now, let me bring it back to something practical, because I don't want this to just be a math lecture that you forget about in 20 minutes. The 3 things you actually need to understand to start using compounding right now are starting, staying, and not touching it. Starting is the obvious one and the hardest one. You need to begin, not when you feel ready, not when the market feels stable, not after the holidays, not after the car is paid off, now. Even if it's $25 a month, even if it's 10, the tree needs to get in the ground. Staying means you don't panic when the market drops, and it will drop. That's not a threat, that's a promise. The S&P 500 has experienced a decline of 10% or more roughly once every year and a half, historically. The people who panic and pull out during those dips are the people who miss the recovery. And the recovery is where the compounding kicks back in harder. Staying in the market, even when it hurts, is how you let the math work. And not touching it. Oh, this one gets people. Someone starts an investment account, does great for a few years, and then a new car comes up, or a vacation, or an emergency, and they dip into the account. And every time you pull money out, you're not just losing that amount. You're losing every dollar that money would have compounded into over the next 20, 30, 40 years. You're cutting down your apple tree for firewood. This is why financial advisors talk about having a separate emergency fund. It's not just for peace of mind. It's so that when life happens, you're not forced to interrupt your compounding. Let me tell you about a woman named Grace Groner. She was a secretary at Abbott Laboratories in the 1930s. She bought 3 shares of Abbott stock in 1935 for a total of about $180. She never sold them. She never added to them. She just reinvested the dividends every year and let it sit. When Grace died in 2010, 75 years later, those 3 shares were worth $7 million. $7 million from a $180 investment, a secretary's investment, not a Wall Street trader, not a hedge fund manager, a secretary who understood one thing: leave the money alone and let time do the work. Now I'm not promising you $7 million. Grace had an extraordinary run, but the principle is the same. You don't need to be brilliant. You don't need to pick winners. You need to start, stay consistent, and get out of your own way. So here's where I want to leave you. Every single day you put this off is a day your money isn't working for you. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it's the most honest thing I can tell you. The compounding clock is running right now. The question is just whether it's running for you or against you. If you're in your 20s, you have the most powerful asset in the world right now: time. Don't waste it thinking you need more money before you start. Start small. Start ugly. Start with whatever you've got. If you're in your 30s or 40s, you're not too late, not even close. You just need to go a little harder, contribute a little more, and stop stalling. The next best time to plant the apple tree is today. And if you're in your 50s, the tree still goes in the ground. You may not get 40 years of growth, but 15 years of compounding beats 0 years of compounding every single time. Do not let perfect be the enemy of started. If you've been here before, if you've watched videos like this, read the books, heard the advice, and still haven't done anything about it, I want you to ask yourself honestly, what's the real reason? Because it's usually not the money. It's usually fear. Fear of doing it wrong, fear of losing it, fear of it not mattering. And I get it, but staying paralyzed is the only move that's guaranteed to fail. Open the account, set up the automatic transfer, pick a simple, diversified index fund, and then get out of the way and let time be the genius. Compound interest is not a secret. It's not some trick for rich people. It's a mathematical fact that is available to literally every single person watching this right now. The only requirement is that you start. So start.